What other better way to spend my afternoon going to the historic cemetery in my city, Riverside, California, for the first time, finding the graves of pioneers and highlighting their story if possible. Let's see who we can find. 1834 to 1909. And the wife, 1834 to 1910, 1 year apart. Zimmerman. R.L. Wardrobe. Father at rest, 1826 to 1908. The old schoolhouse was one of the landmarks of the early days. A year prior to our arrival, it had given place as a seat of education to the first brick building erected in San Jacinto, and was occupied in turn by the families of R.L. Wardrobe and more, William P. Fowler. There's a lot of graves here. I read there was 27,000 total. Leland Milton Backstrand, buried here, was born in Los Angeles. He was involved in insurance and real estate business, a Republican, member of the California State Assembly and California State Senate. He was also a member of the Freemasons, Elks, Optimist Club, American Legion, and Native Sons of the Golden West. John Winship was an early lumber dealer in Arlington and handpicked the wood for his Riverside home, which still stands on Meyer Street. In 1903, John established the Arlington Lumber Yard. John and his wife Elizabeth had 5 children but lost 2 shortly after moving to the area. John then erected the monument at Evergreen Cemetery for the family plot. John's son Frank eventually took over the lumberyard business and was elected to the City Council of Riverside, serving 8 years, representing Arlington. Jared Dart was born in Chenango, New York, as the 7th generation in the Dart family. His parents were from New London, Connecticut. He married Mary Merchant around 1857. They had at least one child, Rose, who was born in Iowa. Jared and Mary resided in East Riverside, but not much more is known about them. Born 1845, died 1903. Not much is known about Robert Wakeham. It's likely he served during the Spanish-American War and then saw active combat during the Philippine-American War while with the 29th U.S. Infantry. He died at just 36. J.M. Rhodes, 1838 to 1920. Sarah M. Rhodes, 1841 to 1921. They died a year apart. It's pretty crazy standing in a grave. Feels weird. Weber. Richard Nicholson, 1831 to 1906. As I explored the cemetery, I was trying to find the oldest plots. But this also meant these people were not going to be very well documented for. This kid died at 10 years old, 1898 to 1908. It's got a little small headstone. Edmund Hind was the son of Thomas Hind, a very prominent newspaper publisher, real estate developer, and Methodist minister. The Hind family was well known in Ohio, Kentucky. Edmund headed to California in 1850 and searched for wealth during the gold rush. It's said that he and the other prospectors he traveled with had limited success mining and headed back to the Midwest a short time later. He faced many hardships in life and died 4 years after moving to Riverside, California. Jepson, John Stewart, 1864 to 1909. It smells really nice right here, and the shade is very nice. I mean, there's so many stones, you want to give them all recognition. I could only, pick out so many to talk about. Saunders was born in Maine about 1830. In his 20s, he set out on a 6-month voyage around the Horn of South America to come to California. First settling in Mendocino, he worked in the lumbering business. In 1878, Saunders was forced to file bankruptcy, which led to his family moving, buying a home in a 10-acre orange grove in Riverside. The entrepreneur worked the remaining time of his life as a farmer and rancher and passed away at the age of 72. Riverside named Saunders Street after him. Cyrus R. Ross, 1825 to 1911. Stella and Lou Irvine moved to Riverside in 1893 and bought an existing orange grove in the area. They built a French chateau-style house on the corner of First Street and Brockton Avenue, a 16-room home designed by Seahorn and Preston in Los Angeles. Miss Irvine converted her 4 attic servants' bedrooms into offices for her temperance and church work, setting up a small print shop in the basement to publish religious publications distributed worldwide. After the house was sold in 1938, an incident took place, and a little girl, presumably the Irvine's daughter, who died as an infant, is said to still haunt the house and can occasionally be heard crying. Private Chas H. McLean's Supply Troop, 1st U.S. Cavalry, 1897 to 1918. Last name Coffin. Ross. William E. Hudson. At first I thought it was just a rock, and you got his name at the top right here. W. W. Poole, 1876 to 1914. Right here you have United Spanish War Veterans, to the unknown dead who gave their lives for the Union from 1898 to 1902. WRC. So far, this is the oldest born date I found, 1816. Charles Mackenzie. It's really nice and peaceful here. You got Mount Rubidoux in the background. A lot of old houses surrounding the cemetery. They closed at 4:30, so we're gonna keep moving. So I read that's where they would keep the dead bodies before being buried. Before they had refrigerators, they would store them there for less than 24 hours using ice. And then they would bury them out here. Got more Masons. Freemason. Carl R. Mears, second lieutenant, Wounded October 27th, 1918 in France. 1897 to 1918. Looks like they're cremating a body right now. So that's going to conclude our trip to the Evergreen Historic Cemetery here in Riverside, California. It's where a lot of the pioneers are buried from Riverside. A lot of the important people in the beginning. I just wanted to bring you guys along, show you some of the history. And like I say, there's so many, it's overwhelming to go through all of them. I just kind of picked out a few to show you. But I hope you guys liked the video. See you guys on the next one.